How much will be radius? Tell me. Compare. You can see what I'm writing?
8.
No. Who's that?
16. 4 mesh.
No, you have to take square root. Square root of 16 is 8. Be careful.
4.
Yeah, so don't you make that silly mistake. Remember, radius is positive. So plus 4. Plus 4 actually, plus and minus both will come, out of which you will only select the positive because radius is a distance. I hope nobody will in exam give me 8. You will lose marks, please be careful. Now let's come to the graph.
15 is the diameter.
Diameter is not asked and it's not required also, right? Just we need the radius.
Yes.
Okay, so now once we have the radius, this is your graph sheet, right? Now look carefully how I'm doing the graph. So what are the two things which are important when it comes to circle? Tell me on your mic, anybody from the previous class. What are the two things which are important for a circle, for the writing of equation, for the drawing of the graph? They are there on your board, by the way.
Center.
The first is center. You need your K. So center is 0, 0. So can I say it will be the red dot that you see now at the origin, 0, 0?
Yes.
Now we need to draw the radius. Now look here carefully how I'm drawing this. I know the radius is 4. So can I say, even before I draw the graph of the circle or I draw the picture, I know that the circle will touch the x-axis at this point? Yes or no? 4, 0. Because by definition, radius becomes the distance of the circle from the center to another point. So can I say it will touch x and y axis at these 4 points? Yes or no? What are the coordinates? Let's see. The radius is 4, so this is 4, 0. Here it will be on the negative side of the x-axis, so minus 4, 0. Yes or no? Anybody has any doubt?
Yes.
What about y-axis? What point it will touch the y-axis? One positive, one negative. So can I say 0, 4
0, 0.
and one more?
0, negative 4.
Is it fine? Everybody? How I'm getting these 4 points?
Yes.
I'm getting these 4 points from the fact that the radius is given to me, 4 units. Now, can I just join these 4 points with the circle and get my answer? That's so easy, the graph of the circle. So remember, to draw the graph of the circle, you just need two things, the center, the radius, and the 4 points that you will join to get the graph. Anybody has any doubt? Is it okay for everyone? Pretty easy, right? Easier than the graph of parabolas that you studied in class with me, huh? Okay, so let's do some more practice. We'll now move to the next slide. I want you to try this one on the graph sheet now. I can ask any girl after 3 minutes, what is the center, what is the radius? And this you can try as your homework. Take 3 minutes, all of you, and do this. And I want you to do this on the graph sheet, please, not like that. And once you do it on the graph sheet, you can take a picture and put it in the chat. If you're not able to do that, you can also type in over the chat anything related to the question, like the coordinates of the center, radius, etc. For the graph, I need pictures. Huh? Oh, by the way, I wanted to, because now we are not in school, so few links will work. So I wanted to show you something. This is like a shortcut. Huh? It won't work during your ministry exam, but have you heard about Desmos? Have you used it? Desmos graphing calculator? You know? Okay, let me show you. Just 2 minutes. Huh? Desmos graphing calculator. This is the link. I actually already put it on LMS also for you. So just, I want to give you a shortcut. I didn't want to give this to you before because then you will not be doing the long method. You will be using only this. So for example, I do the first one, x square plus y square equal to 100. So I can get it in seconds, the graph. and this is the trick. So just see how I'm doing. X, I go to the keypad, square. Everybody can see how I'm making the graph on Desmos.
Yes.
And then I put Y, and then I put square. Then what's the value on the right in the question? 100. So what should be the radius? R square value is 100. What is the radius? Can you see the circle? I'll a little bit zoom out for you. What's the radius? Can you see the graph?
10.
So this is the magic of Desmos. You get your graph within seconds. And if you want to know the center, the point, anything, it's so easy. Look here. This point is 10, 0. What should be this point?
Negative
By symmetry.
10,
Very good. Negative. What is this point?
0 and 10.
Symmetry. And what is the center finally? 0, 0, right?
0 and 0.
Because it's the origin, right? This is a shortcut, and just to let you know, you can use the Desmos graphing calculator for any graph. So it's not only for circles. As we will progress, you can use it for ellipses, hyperbola, even for parabola. So it's a very good tool. Personally, I like it very much. You can use it anytime. Okay. Just for shortcuts, just to check your answer. You won't be using it in exam for sure. Okay, so let's check the chat for your answers now. I hope everybody got this one. Even if anybody wants to take a picture of this small screen, you can, because then I will change. It's just for a shortcut for the girls not here, okay? I'll put the link in the chat, even though I've already put this in LMS as well. So later you want to explore Desmos on your own, just draw the graph of parabola, hyperbola, anything you can. Okay, so let's go back to presentation now. Okay, I think this is easy for everybody. Anybody has any doubt? For the A part and B part, B is actually a homework, but the graph is easy, huh? Now we'll go to the only indirect question of this whole lesson, which is the, in fact, most important. If I'm making the paper for you next time, I will definitely put a question of this type in your exam. So please pay attention. This is example 5 and the most important question. Now in this one, we will be using a little bit of parabola. How? I will tell you. You remember in parabola, we did completing the squares method in class. I hope you all revise. You can now use your mic freely. Mute and answer me if I ask you something. I hope you all revise for parabola completing the square, because that is going to be used for this question. Let's see how. First, let's see what the equation is given. Can I say this equation is not in standard form? Yes or no?
Yes.
So from here, I have to bring it to standard form, means this one. Correct? This is the standard form, you all know by now. And after I put it in standard form, I have to find the center, means h comma k, and also the radius. So let's get started. We are using the same method. I repeat for you, completing the squares. I hope you have revised this method, because it will be very helpful for this. So step 1, we collect x with x, y with y, and I group them together in brackets. Can you see the step 1? Everybody? And whatever is the number here, I'm going to move it on the right, 12, plus, sign changes. This step is easy. Yes or no, quickly? Okay for everybody? Now we go to completing the square. So what did I teach in this method for parabola? You look at the number which is multiplied to the x. What is the number? Divide by 2. What do you get? So the square of this number is the one which will be added and subtracted. So what is the square of -4?
Negative 16.
Why negative? Who says negative? Who's this girl?
Miss, I
Maryam.
put in the calculator as negative 4 squared.
So when you put in calculator, make sure you put brackets, otherwise it will give you wrong answer. Okay? It should be plus 16, not minus. Okay, Mariam? Now we know this 16 is the number which will be added and subtracted. So I add 16, I subtract 16 for this x bracket. What about y? Can we do similarly? Again, What is the number here? Let me change color of my pen so that you don't mix up. Yeah, so the number here is 12. I divide by 2, what is that? 6. So that means this is the number whose square will be added and subtracted. So which number I'm going to add and subtract for the next bracket?
36.
Plus and minus both. Am I clear? This step is okay because this is not given in your book nicely. So you should just see what I'm doing. Okay, now for this one, the sign is negative. So can I say I will use the algebraic identity a minus b square? The same like parabola, if you remember. Everything same going on. However, for the second bracket, the sign is positive. So for the second bracket, I will use plus. So the only thing that will change is the sign, remaining everything fine. So now let's combine x square minus 18x and plus 16. So how much is your a and b? Tell me. Can I say in this first bracket, I can use x square minus 8x plus 16. I will change this to what? X. What is the square? How can I write 16 as a square? Tell me quickly. How can I write 16 as a square? 16 is the perfect square of which number?
4.
4. So can I replace 16 with 4 square? Why did I replace? Because I'm using this identity where I want square. So can I replace with minus 4 whole square? This thing. So that's how this comes. Okay. Similarly, I want to replace for y also. Let's write for y square plus 12y plus 36. Can any girl tell me what should I replace it with? Let's see.
6.
Who's the smart girl? 36 is the square of which number?
6.
Can I replace?
Yeah.
So 6. And what is the sign here? Everything positive, correct? The first term is y, the second term is 6. So can I say y plus 6? Get it? That is how you are getting these brackets. Now what is left here? Minus 16. What is left here? Minus 36. So this minus 16 and this minus 36, I will move on the right side. Why will I move? Because I already have a 12 there with which I can combine these numbers, right? So can I say now I have got my standard form? Standard form is coming from these two values. These two, I put a star. So x minus 4 whole square plus y plus 6 whole square equal to 64. Now, if you wonder how I get this 64, so can you do for me this calculation? On your calculator, 12 plus 16 plus 36. Is it this? Check. We added all of these. And 64 is the square of which number? Can you tell me?
8.
Very good. So can I replace 64 with 8 square? Any girl tell me why I replace? Why did I replace?
Because of the radius. Radius is square.
Very good. Because if I compare with standard equation, this is my standard equation. You all know, right? It has r square. And the question is asking me to get center and radius. So can you now tell me how much is center? How much is radius? Radius is?
8 square.
8. Very good. Not 8 square, huh? 8 only. Because r square is 64. So r is 8. What about center? H comma k. How much? Tell me.
4 and 6.
4 and 6 or 4 and minus 6? You see this plus sign?
Oh, yes.
This is same as, Zahra, is it you? So I will,
Zahra's.
yeah, Zahra. So see, the mistake you said is of the sign. Look here. You should be saying y minus of minus 6, right? Because minus minus is plus. So this is the form. So that means if I compare now, my k is negative 6. So this is your final answer. Very important question, the most important question of the whole lesson. Take a picture, keep a note, share it with your friends who are absent. Actually, I solved a question, but I did it in my own way, adding a few steps to make the question easy for you. So you'll be doing a similar question for me after you finish writing. Let me know when I can change. Somebody put the picture. Important question. Can I change, girls? I hope the picture is taken. Can I change?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So this is the final part. And now if in the same question, one extra thing is asked. Till now we did what? We convert to the standard form and we find the center and radius. Now, if an extra part comes where you need to also do the graph, then can we do it in the similar way? So step one, we will go to the center of the graph. What are the coordinates of the center? Can anybody tell me on the mic? This is how much for the center? Farah, Fawzia, anybody? You are very quiet. Only few girls are answering me.
Miss, the center point?
Yes.
4 and -6.
If we want to plot this point on the graph, can I say it will be this number, the red dot?
Yes.
Everybody can see the coordinate 4, -6. So x is 4, y is -6. So it will be in this position, right? First, I go to the graph, do the dot for the center, and now I'm going to mark my radius. How much is the radius?
8.
How much is the radius? Radius is 8 units. So can I say from the center, I will go 8 units right, left, up, and down, and get the 4 points similar to the graph question we did, and then join them to get my graph. Fine. If I'm at this point, look here. Let me just explain you a little bit more, even though it's easy, but still. This point has x coordinate 4. If I want to go to the right 8 units to get the radius, what will be the point for x? 12. Can you see? So from 4, I move 8 units. This is the next point. Then from this -6, I go up 8 units. From the center, I go again 8 units left, -4, and similarly down. Now, can I join these 4 points to get my final circle, the graph? Like this. This completes the question, and this is how the graph of the circle will look like. Okay? Take a picture, put it in the chat, very important question. Now I want you girls to do one for me for practice. I'll give you 5 minutes to do that one. You will do this one for me and then practice this as your homework. 5 minutes because it's a little long question. And after 5 minutes, you can take a picture of your solution and put it on the chat room. You can also type, whichever is convenient. I'll be on mute for 5 minutes so that you are not disturbed. Once you finish, tell me.
Can I go to the previous question?
You didn't take the picture? Should I? This one?
No, miss, I want to take a picture. No,
For this one? The one which I write or this one?
Yes, this one, miss.
Okay. Take it. By the way, just to remind you, the presentation that I'm using today is already on LMS. And I have written from my pen notes in this presentation. So in the end of the class, just remind me. I stop the recording 5 minutes before the class. I will put this presentation in which I have written the steps for you with the pen also in your Teams chat. Okay. Just remind me once. Okay, now you have 5 minutes to complete. I'll be on mute. When you finish, let me know. Put your answers in the chat, please. Girls, this is the answer key for the questions. I will still give you time to do it if you have not finished, because the period is about to get over. So just I want to give you a few instructions before we close. We have actually completed the lesson. This was the last question for today. For extra practice, there are questions in the presentation taken from the book, important ones that you can use while you are practicing for self-study. Now I will just put the presentation in the chat for you. You want this one? You want this presentation?